How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Ow. I looked at the light. Blinded now. How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. So, probably won't edit that out. So I just got this collection in. Actually, that's a lie. I got it in like 3 weeks ago. So not just, but pretty recently. And I thought this would be interesting to tell you about something that you guys may not know about. And that is the finder's fee. Now, what is a finder's fee? Well, it sounds pretty easy to understand. But basically, I have a past customer, who buys from me regularly and we talk, stuff like that. Cool guy. And he found a collection. Now, he either can't afford it, or maybe he doesn't want it, or it's too much for that person to move. Whatever the case is, if someone finds a collection and then they pass the information on to me, then I will pay that person a finder's fee. And a lot of people are probably going to ask, well, how much is a finder's fee? Well, it depends on the price of the collection and how much, what kind of deal I can get and things like that. Normally, this one's actually very interesting. I've never experienced this before. So without divulging too much details, the person who has these comics or has them was inherited basically thousands upon thousands of comics. And they know a little about comics, but not too much. But they don't have time to sell all this stuff. They don't have time to get rid of it. That's what most people are, and that's why I'm here. I'm like the dumping ground. Give me the comics, I'll get rid of them. So they don't have time. So what this person is doing is through my contacts. So I have a middleman. The middleman found it, and I don't actually have direct contact with the actual person that owns the collection, which is fine, understandable. I give the middleman a finder's fee, and basically what the person does is they just ship me, in this case, 2 short boxes of comics. I tally it up and say, this is what I'll pay for them. And, through the middleman, we'll do the dealing. And then I give them the money. And so whenever this person wants money, they just send me another batch of comics. It's interesting. I've never experienced that before. Like, they have a ton, but they don't want to send me all of them. They just want to be like, well, I need some money. Here you go, David. How much are you going to pay for this? And then I, tell them my middleman what I'm going to pay for it. And then they work out the deal. And then, yeah. And then I'll give the middle guy, I'll give him a finder's fee every single time based off of how expensive the books are and all that kind of stuff. It's usually like there's no set like percentage, so to speak. It usually works out. Basically, it's like this is what I think it's worth. This is what I'm willing to pay, and then I give some money from that, and I calculate the finder's fee into how much I'm going to pay because I still need my margins. And interesting enough, the middleman was like, well, if I haggle a better price, can my finder's fee be bigger? I'm like, of course. Because usually when I give a price, that's what I don't really haggle too much. Like, it's very little, like my first price is the price. Like sometimes, like I did a deal on a Spider-Man collection, which I'll show probably in a couple of videos, where I think it's been a couple months because he sent them in batches. He didn't want to send them all at once. I have to look at my notes, but I think it was around like 20,000, and we started off, and I started off I think at like 19 something, and then he wanted like 22, and I was like, look, I can't go that high, like 19, and then we ended up working out where he squeezed me up to like basically like from like I think it was like 19,500 to 20,000. So once I give a price, that's like my fair price is what I normally give. Like, I'm not trying, I'm gonna start super low and then work my way up. So I gave the price, and the guy's like, well, if I can talk him down a little bit, can I? And I was like, yeah, if you can talk him down a little bit, I'll give you a finder's fee. I'll split the difference with you because you're basically saving money. But this is my top dollar that, my first bid is the dollar I want to spend. So he took it upon himself to offer that, and I said, I'm fine with that. So, and, remember, you want to give a finder's fee because if someone is going out and doing this work for you, yeah, they deserve something for that work that they're doing. They're bringing you something. So I thought that was interesting. Maybe some of you guys out there don't even know what a finder's fee is or even that's available. So, hey, if you have a collection out there and you know of it, but you can't deal with it or you don't have the money for it, hit me up, and I will give you a finder's fee for it. So let's look at this collection. It's mostly a lot of raw stuff. I have it's one of those collections where the person bought 10 copies of the same comic book. So it's like I got, Web of Spider-Man 1 through 30, but 5 to 10 copies of each, all not bagged and boarded, of course. So they gave me some better stuff too. I'll just show you some for example, it's I got, is that state? Oh yeah, it states. Web Spider-Man 11. Most of these books are pretty high grade, running. A lot of them had some weird burn damage or something on it. I don't know exactly what it was, but most of them are gonna be 9.0s and 9.4s, which isn't a lot of money. They're not worth grading at that point because what's a Web of Spider-Man 11 and a 9.0 go for? Nothing. So you can't grade them. There is a couple number ones in there, which is nice. The first time he sent me a batch, it was all just really basically like that, all just Web of Spider-Man number 11s, and I was I can't pay very much for this, because these don't go for very much. So I convinced him to send me some better stuff. I got this FF52. That was nice. It's not restored or anything like that, which is good. So I think this is close to original collection. So maybe this person bought this new. This FF is, mid-grade range. Okay, I just opened the box so I could thumb through them a little faster. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff was lower grade if it was older. For example, I got a Justice League 1 through 10. So that was pretty nice, but they're all lower grade. But that stuff's good. I like, that stuff. I like this stuff. So, and then I got a bunch of Wonder Woman. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, it's cut off. There we go. I got a bunch of Silver Age Wonder Woman, things like that. What else have I got in here? I got a stack of this, and if you guys saw my last video, you'll know the importance of this one. I got a whole stack here of that stuff. It's funny. I remember 5 years ago, I got, I think, X-Men 50 through 200, 20 to 30 copies each. I still have them, and I'm going through them. So I got a bunch of this stuff. I got a couple old Hulks, which is cool. I mean, these are super low grade, 1.0s. Got a Hulk number, what is that, 3? Here's some of the Wonder Woman. I don't know if you can't really see this, but there's kind of this black burny ash stuff. You can kind of wipe it off with your hands. That's up on the top. Just a bunch of old Wonder Womans from the Silver Age, which is nice. Also got some Green Lanterns, some Silver Age Green Lanterns, older ones. No number 1 of Green Lantern, but I think it goes down to number 2. But number 2 is just, a 1.0. So this collection pretty much was just mostly some Silver Age, older Silver Age, and a lot of Copper Age of the Web of Spider-Mans. I mean, it's good stuff. This stuff, all sell in my raw auctions that I do. Not too many stuff worth submitting. I mean, I think I'll do all right with it. It's just going to take a long time because I have, what am I going to do with 20 copies of Web Spider-Man, number 5? They're not worth sending, sell them piece by piece. And the thing that sucks is I'm not going to put these up as a buy it now and wait a year for one to sell because I have 20 copies. So I put them in auctions, but then in auctions, They go for, could go $1 one week, could go for $5 or $10 the next week. Who knows? And that's kind of like what I do just so I can get rid of this stuff. So it's, I never will get full top dollar for this because it's impossible. It's like the time it would take to get, it would just take way, way, way too long. So I'll pretty much maybe lot a lot of them out, just kind of move the inventory around. Probably the ones I would grade, to be honest, would just be, the FF52 and, maybe the Justice League 1 and things like that. Like this Wonder Woman 154. This is like a 4.0. Like, it's not worth grading, even though it's Silver Age stuff. Yeah, most of this stuff is just not worth grading. Just this kind of selling raw. But yeah, I paid about $3,500 for this, including all the finder fees and everything like that. So yeah, I think I did pretty well. Well, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions about finder's fee, or if you have a collection, just hit me up on my email. It's david@collectorscomics.com, or you can leave a comment. I try to respond to every comment, but I don't see every single one. So if you comment something that's needs my attention, something like, hey, I have a collection or something like that. And this is like people ask me all the time, how do I find collections? I'm like, if you are I was talking with a guy that I met through YouTube just the other day, and he's like, how do you get it? I was like, the key is you got to have good customer service, and you got to have a connection with your customers. Like, if you're just a dealer to them, there's no reason why they would come to you versus Heritage or Comic Link or someone else. So you have to have a connection, a rapport with your customers. And then one day when they do find something, either it's their own collection or they found a collection, they will come to you. And that's very key. Like, you don't just think of your customers as money things. Think of them as people. And, and that's how I look at it. I honestly want to find books for people to put in their collection so they can complete a run, or they just want a super nice book. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I just really wanted this $50 book, and you happen to have it, and you gave me a good deal on it, and I'm happy. That makes me happy. Like, I'm glad. Basically, I buy collections, and then I try to find better homes for them for people that can appreciate them. And that's basically what I do. I found this book. It was in an undesired home that the person didn't want. Well, the original person that wanted died. Now the new person could care less about it. And so then they give it to me, and then I find someone who will appreciate it and care for it until they pass it on to someone else. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a good day.